Alright, Ed, here we have your 18th scale, I'm sorry, I should have called you Edgar, assumed Ed, but anyway, 18th scale, 1995 Honda Civic. This is, again, 18th scale. It's a Racing Champions model from the Fast and Furious movie. I don't know if it's the first movie or what. Honestly, I haven't seen any of those movies, so I don't know which one it's actually from. Box just says Fast and the Furious. I'm assuming the original movie. With this, like I said, I don't even think I think you had this shipped directly from the seller to me, so you haven't even seen this in person, I don't believe. But as you can see, the hood does open, door is still open. Nice V-tec engine sitting in there, along with your cold air intake. Engine's been done up really well inside. Looks pretty cool. Of course, no wires or anything showing. You're not going to see anything like it on any of my builds. Like hiding everything takes a lot more time to do it, obviously, but turns out a lot better model that way. Let's shut the hood back down. Inside, you see Recaro style racing seats with your harnesses in there, and the rest of the interior is pretty basic on this. Like I said, both front doors do open. You can see a little bit of window tint on the sunroof, along with your side windows, rear window. Those have a little bit of tint to them from the factory. Of course, your nice cool spoiler. 9-volt batteries located in the trunk, along with a nitrous bottle. Ever since the movies, Fast and Furious, everybody calls it NOS now, but anyway, I've always called it nitrous oxide or just nitrous. I work for a medical company, so that's what I've always referred to it as. So the tank did go back in the trunk even with the battery. I didn't know if the battery would fit, or if the tank would fit back in there with the battery or not, but anyway, both of them do fit in there. Underneath the car, you have 3 switches. This is your main power switch here. When you turn that on, your tail lights and your front park lights will come on. This switch here will control your headlights off and on. You can run your park lights without the headlights, or you can flip this back and it will turn the headlights on. The headlights will not work. I wired it up this way intentionally. Headlights will not work unless your main power switch is on. Like I said, cars don't have just headlights. Well, I guess if you have daytime running lights, just headlights are on, but I wired it up so it would work that way. This switch here, you know what it's for. I'll show that in a minute. The big reveal. It will work anytime, whether this main power switch is on or off, it doesn't matter. Headlights, whichever, you can use this independently of everything else, so it's like it's hooked to its own little battery. Let's go ahead and kick this main power on. You can see your front park lights, illuminated pretty cool, and of course your tail lights are on. A little reflection up under that spoiler, kind of looks weird, but anyway, tail lights are on. With that, and turn around here, turn on your switch here, the second switch, middle switch. It gives you your headlights. I use the hyper white LEDs on this, give it more white, bluish white cast, like the xenon headlights most of these cars in the movie probably had installed. So you can see those shining pretty bright there. Of course, taillights still stayed on. Again, if you want, you can actually use your main power to control all of it at once. So if you don't, if you want your headlights on most of the time, you can just leave that switch on and then just turn the main power on, and of course it will operate your headlights and park lights all with one switch. So that's part of the reason I wired it the way I did. Your other switch, it gives you, evidently in the movie, that car had lighting underneath. So I've installed, I think 1, 2, 10, 14, I think. Ended up putting 14 green LEDs underneath, kind of gives it that neon glow look underneath. Turned out really cool. I thought I was only going to use 10 LEDs. Ended up using 14. Shows up really well. You can see a little bit better up top. Has a real good light cast to it. Let's kick this light out. If you notice, in Kentucky we kick everything off and on. Anyway, you can see it a lot better there. I'll lift this up, give you an idea of how much light it actually puts out. Like I said, my camera has a tendency to focus on just the LED light, the point of light itself. Lift that up a little bit, kind of give you an idea of how bright that really is. I'll turn this off, and you'll see that it's completely dark down here. So it gives you an idea of how much light that actually puts out. Of course, with that on, you can still use your headlights and taillights. So all that still will work. And of course, if you want, you can actually just turn off your headlights, or everything like I just did. Turn off just the headlights, and just have your park lights and your neon lights. As you can see, that light really puts out quite a bit all the way around the car. So you actually got a real good glow to it. Not just one or two LEDs. I think they actually had a version of this that they sold, maybe called Street Glow version. And from what I've heard, I don't really think it. I think I did see one. I don't think it actually looked as cool, nearly as cool as this does. So anyway, there we have it. And I appreciate it. Let's go ahead and turn this headlights back on. I appreciate the order, and I appreciate your patience more than anything. So we'll get settled up on this after you see the video, and I'll try to get it shipped out to you once that payment's made as soon as possible. Once the payment's made. So again, appreciate it, and thank you. And maybe we'll do another one here soon for you. Thanks again.